Hi, I'm Becky Dean, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how to manipulate some data sets and get some graphs from them and then make some decisions. The first thing you're going to want to start with is a spreadsheet. So we're going to open spreadsheet, so it's the icon down here. You're going to put in your data here. The nice thing about this is you can cut and paste from an Excel document or a table. So I've already taken some data from a table, so I'm going to copy it in. So we have our data in a spreadsheet. If we want to graph it, we want to go to Documents and Insert. And so I'm going to purposefully make a mistake if you'll watch for a second. In Data and Statistics, you click on that. You insert this thing and notice at the bottom it says click to add variable. Well, there's nothing, no options, and then there's click to add variable on the left. That's because I didn't give my column a title. So I have to give it some sort of title. This is just data I use. Most of the time I like to use something that's meaningful, but I use this to help students check for normalcy and do a normal probability plot. So I'm just going to call it data. Now when you go back to 1.2, you'll see lots of points on the screen, and they're randomly scattered everywhere. So in order to make the scatter kind of go away and make some order out of these points, you're going to go down here to the bottom to click variable, and now notice data is an option that I can use. So if I click on that, all of these dots reorder themselves into a dot plot. Not a whole lot to see here. If you had more data, this dot plot would be a lot better, or more data that's similar, a dot plot would be good. Maybe you might want to look at a histogram. If I want to change this plot, I'm going to go over here to Menu, and I'm going to do Plot Type. I could do a box plot. So notice if I do a box plot, those points transform. As you go along here on the far left, it gives you the minimum, and then it gives you Q1, and then the median, Q3, and the max, just by moving that hand. So the hand kind of becomes your cursor. If you wanted to take this data and make it into a histogram, you go back to Menu and Plot Type and choose Histogram, and all the dot plot kind of transforms into a histogram. So from this histogram, you can kind of see some symmetry. It's not great. It's a little bit hard to see a good distribution. It's kind of uniform except for that one output there and that the one bin from 32.9 to 33.9. This bin doesn't seem optimal, so if you don't like the way the bins are situated, you can go back to Menu again, and then you go to Plot Properties, Histogram Properties, and then on the left you'll see bin settings. So you can change what the bins look like. So if you click on that, it asks you how big you want the bins and then where the alignment wants to be. So if I change this to 24 instead of 23.9, notice my bins look a little bit different now. Just some options that you can mess around with. In AP statistics, we like to take data, and oftentimes it's a small set of data, and we want to see if it's normally distributed so that we can perform different tests on it. So one way you can look at that is we can add another, I'm going to add another document here. And so I'm going to insert another set of data and statistics. And again, it shows my points to start, but then I can do with this what I want. I need to tell it that my variable was data, and it's automatically going to go to my dot plot. But if I go back to Menu, I can choose a different plot type, which is a normal probability plot, which I would like to use to assess for normality. So if I click on that, I get a picture of what's going on. So what happens here is basically it calculates a z-score for each value, and if this is normally distributed, you would expect it to follow on this black line that's listed there. Hopefully this is useful. Hopefully you enjoy it, and thanks for listening.